Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and today Dead by Daylight put out a developer update about the brand new chapter End Transmission. They put out this tweet here that says, "You've caused a global EMP shortage. I hope you're happy. Balance changes are on the way." And when you click the link, it takes you to the official Dead by Daylight forums where they have this developer update information about the End Transmission chapter release. So let's go ahead and read through it here. It says, "It's been almost a week since the debut of the End Transmission chapter. We've been keeping a close eye out for feedback since the launch, and we are already preparing a few balance changes for an upcoming update. Today, we'll take a moment to run through each of the adjustments we have made and give some explanation as to why we're making them. But first, let's cover a few trends we've noticed. The Singularity's biopods are often disabled, making it difficult to use its power. And holding an EMP offers a survivor too much protection against the Singularity's power, allowing them to quickly and easily remove slipstream and disabled biopods while being chased. For the former, we've made some incremental changes between the public test build and live release, reducing the number of supply cases and increasing the time it takes for them to print. We needed to be careful since making EMPs too hard to get could have the opposite problem of removing counterplay from survivors. Now that we've had some time to see how these tweaks have played out, we feel comfortable reducing the frequency of the EMPs even further. We have reduced the number of supply cases to 4. It was 5. Remember, it was more than that in the PTB. And increased the EMP generation time to 100 seconds. It was 90 seconds, and it was 80 seconds in the PTB. And reduced the duration of disabled biopods to 45 seconds, was 60 seconds. With these adjustments combined, EMPs will be less readily available and leave biopods disabled for a shorter period of time. Survivors will still be able to defend themselves against biopods in key locations, but they'll want to use them strategically as to not waste them. Second, we have noticed a developing strategy where survivors would hold an EMP at all times and only use it once the killer attempts to tag them with the temporal slipstream during a chase. Although we like the options this provides, it can make chasing a survivor holding an EMP a little underwhelming since your power is effectively blocked until the EMP is used. To make this strategy a little more risky, we've done the following. We've increased the time to charge an EMP from 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds, and a new effect, survivors will now be slowed by 10% when charging their EMP. With this in mind, saving your EMP for a chase becomes a lot more dangerous, and while you may remove your slipstream, the killer will also catch up much quicker and potentially get a hit. If you decide to use your EMP defensively, you'll want to plan ahead and use it when the time is right. Each of the changes mentioned in this post will be available in the upcoming 7.0.1 bug fix patch. Stay tuned to our channels for more information when the update is available. As always, we'll be monitoring for feedback once these tweaks go live, so be sure to let us know how they feel. Until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. So we had like 5 different things here that are being buffed for the Singularity, which honestly I'm quite surprised with. No mention of when this is going to happen. It could happen as early as tomorrow. It could happen on the 22nd with the event. Not really sure when this is coming out, and they don't say. Maybe it won't be until next week. I'm not entirely sure when this is happening, but it's got to be relatively soon for them to prepare us for this. So, honestly, I'm a little surprised that they have done this much this fast, especially given that they had already made some tweaks from the PTB to live. They must just really feel like it isn't enough and that the killer is quite anemic in their estimation. Because I wish they would have done it in graduated steps, like a little bit of this, and then if that wasn't enough, then put on the second layer to equal all 5 of these things. Because now I don't want the killer to toil and be weak and be somebody that we just never see pick rated anymore, like just the lowest pick rate, like a twins, like you're going to see them once in a blue moon. And obviously the company doesn't want to see that either, because this is their anniversary chapter. They want to make it viable. So I want the killer to be viable, but my fear is that all of these things will be too oppressive. So hopefully that isn't the case, but it's a stark contrast to what we have been told over the last few years, that they never want to have any of these knee-jerk reactions ever since Freddy first came out and they changed him so quickly. They decided that from that moment on going forward, and that's been the policy for several years now, is that they maintained that they didn't want to make any knee-jerk reactions or changes right away. They wanted to see if the community could figure it out, whether it was to play against a killer or play as a killer. And it seems like all that has gone out of the window, and I can only assume that the reasoning behind this is that they feel he is so impotent, so anemic, that he needs something right away, and they don't need to wait and see if people can figure it out. Because these are changes that were proposed on the forums by Mandy, or shared with the community on the forums by Mandy, like 3 days after release. So he must really be toiling. I personally have had a couple of singularities out there just totally kick my butt, my team's butt. So I wonder what it's going to be like to play against those people who seem to have figured out how to make this killer work very quickly and are very adept at using them. But I suppose those people must be few and far between. I have heard a lot of people who say that it's frustrating to try and get the power to work. While they do enjoy the idea of the killer and everything that it could potentially do, they're having problems getting there and making it work. So I suppose this is going to be a big step in the direction for that. I am a little concerned with the shorter window of having the biopods disabled in concert with it taking longer for you to get a new EMP, that you're going to be under the watch of cameras a lot. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this all plays out. Again, I don't want the killer to be a weak nothing, but I don't want them to get to the point where it's an oppressive killer that nobody wants to see, that they just kill themselves on first hook or DC or anything like that. I want it to be in that sweet spot of balance. So I kind of wish they had layered this on, but I understand the devs, in devs we trust, they have the information, they have the data, they know how it's working and how it's not working, that this is the right move and that it isn't too much, but, that remains to be seen. And then my other fear on that point is if you tune them up too much and that they do get to this level where they're oppressive, and then people are like, wow, this killer really slaps, I'm going to go buy this killer because it's easy wins and they dominate and it's great. And then the company is in the position of having to neuter the killer afterwards because they have tuned them up too high, that they're too strong and they need to get tuned back. Then they wind up with this backlash of, oh, well, this is bait and switch. You made him really strong so that you would be able to sell him to us, and now you've nerfed him, and we hate that. So that's also another reason why I wish they would have gradually layered on the buffs for this killer. But again, in devs we trust that it isn't going to be too much, and once it comes out, we'll find out together where he lays with all of these buffs. Larry Singularity, Huxley, whatever your nickname is for him. But that's all I have for you today. What do you think about these changes? I'd like to hear from you and see what you think about the changes coming through, and let me know in the comments below. I always like to read different people's perspectives on things, so thank you for that. And I thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate the time that you spend here with me on my channel. Don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.